Welcome, friends, to the Girl Mom Podcast. This is Kari Kampakis, your host. Today's episode is about what happens in your 40s as you come to the realization that we are the adults. We are the grown-ups making hard calls and getting stretched too thin as multiple generations depend on us and the demands for our time and energy amplify. I don't know about you, but when I turned 40, I felt like I was in a pretty solid place. I had my husband, my daughters, and my help, and it was a great feeling to know that our family was complete and I was working toward my dream to become a published author. But what nobody warned me about was how much sadness, heartache, and change this decade would bring. I'm now at the age where all my friends are losing their parents, or taking care of sick parents, and facing big league stress. I've seen a lot of divorce, death, cancer, addiction, and health issues. My friends and I are launching teenagers and worrying about teenagers, and also working hard to pay for college or help our kids chase their dreams. Some days we just want to curl up in bed and have someone take care of us, but that's not an option because too many people depend on us. Gone are the days where we can leave grown-up responsibilities to someone else. My hope is that this episode will help you feel less alone and more equipped to navigate this decade that calls for deeper resolve and inner strength. It will also be available on my website as a blog post. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy the show. A sorority sister of mine came in town for a funeral. A friend of hers from high school had lost her father, and she told me that this was her 9th funeral to attend in 6 months. All of her friends were losing parents, and we talked about how this is, sadly, our current stage in life. I have another friend whose mom has dementia. While she's thankful her mom's alive, she misses the strong Southern woman who raised her. I just wish she'd call me, my friend says, and tell me to get off the couch and quit being lazy. She was funny like that, and I miss it. When my husband and I got married in our 20s, we entered the wedding season of life. We had a party every weekend as our friends tied the knot. In our 30s, those same friends got pregnant, and the celebrations continued as we entered the baby season of life. Now, in our 40s, the overarching theme is funerals. Everyone our age is either losing parents or taking care of ailing parents. This isn't a joyful, party-filled season. There's no playbook to go by as the roles reverse and the generation ahead of us starts to depend on us and slowly slip away. What nobody tells us when our kids are young is how there comes a day when we realize we are the adults. We are the grown-ups making hard calls. We are the leaders called to be strong and wise. We are the ones getting stretched too thin as multiple generations depend on us and the demands for our time and energy amplify. It seems ironic to me that when we need our parents the most, while raising teenagers and watching them leave the nest, they often face challenges that take them away from us. They can't always support us like they did when our kids were babies because they're dealing with health scares, doctor appointments, memory loss, chronic pain, or other issues. To complicate matters, our 40s are also the time when big league stress kicks in. Realities like death, divorce, cancer, health issues, financial strain, and tragedies emerge. Many families fall apart due to infidelity or addiction, and problems that seemed minor back in our 20s, a kink in a marriage, a small drinking problem that went ignored, have had time to escalate and implode. Even if you don't face a crisis personally, you'll walk through a crisis with somebody you love. Our 40s are also the time when our babies grow up. They become teenagers who pull away to create an identity and life of their own. I love teenagers, and I wrote a book for moms about raising teenage daughters. But parenting teens is stressful. There's constant mental juggling and unprecedented levels of fear, worry, and self-doubt. My 40s have been good to me, and I wouldn't trade the wisdom of this age for anything. But this decade has required a whole new level of faith, resilience, and trust in God. Letting go is the theme, and while I'm thrilled for my high school senior daughter, who is soon headed to college, because I loved college, and that keeps me optimistic and excited for her, I'm also aware of the void that her absence will leave. I know that our home and our family won't be the same. And just the other day, as I sat at my computer and listened to one of her favorite songs, I cried as this truth sank in. Last year, my husband sent me a text about a study he saw in the news. Since we were both 47 at the time, we laughed over the revelation that most people reach their misery peak around age 47. According to research, the happiness curve follows a U-shaped trajectory. It hits a low at midlife and goes uphill from there. The study didn't explain why people in 132 countries have greater experiences of happiness in youth and old age, but I have my own theories. I believe it's because our 40s are rife with transitions, loss, and overwhelming responsibilities. We're launching kids and burying parents. We're working harder to pay for college or support our children's dreams. We're up against the big league stress, yet we're strapped for time to take care of ourselves. We're mourning what used to be or what we hoped might be. We're learning to fight for our joy, even in trials and hard circumstances. I think the torch gets passed in our 40s from one generation to another. Here we are, called to be the adults, yet many of us don't feel ready. For years, I wrestled with all the life changes and higher expectations of this season in life. I struggled to articulate what I felt God doing inside me and guiding me toward. And then one day, in His mercy, God opened my eyes as I read The Return of the Prodigal Son by Henry Nouwen. Feelings that had eluded me for years suddenly made more sense as Nouwen explained how the ultimate goal of the spiritual life is to become like the compassionate Father. As we mature and grow up, we move past being the prodigal son and the jealous brother to become the merciful Father who stretches out His hand in blessing and receives His children with compassion regardless of how they feel or think about Him. To me, this encapsulates the shift of our 40s. All the changes set in motion lead to a spiritual transition, one that makes us rise to the occasion and ultimately model God's selfless and life-changing love. I know that I've grown up a lot during my 40s, and I have a lot of growing up left to do. I'm so thankful for my friends who understand the highs and lows of this season. My friend Jennifer has lost both of her parents, and shortly after her second parent passed, she realized how her parents had spent their entire lives preparing her for this day, the day that she'd have to stand on her own 2 feet. They taught her how to handle life without them, and now it's her turn to do the same for her children. Our parents can teach us everything except how to stop missing them. I don't think we ever stop craving the love and the strength of those who raised us and shaped us. While our 40s are not an overarching, joyful season as we keep our black dresses ready for funerals and let go of what used to be, it can be a meaningful time of deep growth, renewed purpose, and intimacy with God. Even in death and sorrow, He is a God of life and new beginnings. He refreshes us and He gives us hope, promising eternal life through Jesus and equipping us to meet new challenges as we rise to new positions and new callings within the circle of life. Friends, thank you for tuning in today. I'm so grateful to have you here. If you enjoyed this show, please tell your friends, leave a ratings or review, and subscribe on iTunes so you can access new episodes as soon as they drop. Also, my new book for moms of teenage girls is now available, and it's getting a terrific response, so check it out in the show notes. I'm thankful to be on this journey with you, and I'm praying for you and those special girls in your life.